to go back and help with the refugees in Slovakia. And now we are serving as temple president, matron of LA Temple. Wonderful place to find peace, and we hope to see many of you there. I'm going to turn the time over to President Worthman.
Well, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It's marvelous to be with you today. We love our young single adults. In fact, our youngest son is a young single adult for another month. And then he's getting married. Dated the same girl for 5 years. How old is Chris? 31. Yeah. Isn't that marvelous? Well, thank you for being here at this conference. There's a lot of places you can be on a Saturday, and it's my prayer that in our short time together, that you'll feel the Spirit. I wanted to start with a message about gifts. We read in the scriptures about spiritual gifts, don't we? Doctrine and Covenants, section 46, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, Moroni chapter 10. I would say the Beatitudes, Matthew 5, talks about spiritual gifts. And these are marvelous. We're taught in the Doctrine and Covenants that we each have spiritual gifts. That these are gifts that are bestowed by a loving Father in heaven to bless others and to bless our lives. I worry sometimes as we go through our life that we feel that we don't have a gift or many gifts. We sit with others and we think, oh my goodness, we have spiritual gifts, testimony, and healing and experience. I don't have any of that. But I want to give a message to begin my remarks that you each have been endowed with great spiritual gifts. It's up to you to find them, to develop them, and share them. But the other thing I want to share that we talk a lot about in the mission is there's lots of gifts. I have a list from our missionaries I love. There's the gift of listening, the gift of caring, the gift of loving, the gift of being loved. There's the gift of patience. There's the gift of pondering. There's the gift of music. There's all these gifts. So if you're feeling that life has passed you by a little bit in a lot of ways, that's not the case. And I want to give you an example. Does anyone here speak Russian? Any return missionaries? Okay. No return missionaries from Russia or Ukraine. That's okay. Привет. I want to talk about Sister Timochko. Sister Timochko came to our mission in an unusual path. She was in her late 30s, past the normal period of serving a mission. She was from the Kiev region, and she had really felt that life had passed her by. She didn't feel that marriage would be a part of her life. She has some health challenges. She came from a family that was a little disjointed, a lot disjointed. She struggled financially. She struggled emotionally and felt there's no gifts. I have no spiritual gifts in my life. I believe, I love the Lord, but I don't have any gifts. And she came on a 2-month mission assignment to our mission. 2 months. 39? 2 months, 39. And I remember our first discussion was about her feelings that life had passed her by and that she was not endowed with any gifts. And I sat and I pondered. And I looked at her. And I began talking with her. She said, I do like to sing a little. I said, okay, we have our first zone conference for you in a week. Would you sing at the zone conference? Oh no, President Worthman. I just sing in the shower. Doesn't it sound marvelous when we sing in the shower? And we come out and, oh boy, we're back to square one. But I invited her and I was amazed. And we all were. She sang in Ukrainian. Her English was still developing. It was marvelous. And in that short 2 months, she came to understand and appreciate that she was given a gift of music and to develop it. About a year and a half later, I got this video, which I think is appropriate for our setting here, from Sister Timochko. And she appeared on the Russian language version of The Voice. What? I wish I could tell you she won, but she came in second. But she came in second, and do you think her life changed? Dramatically. Because she recognized she had a gift. She took the time to develop it and to share it. So, brothers and sisters, if nothing else you remember from today, the Lord said, each of us have been endowed with spiritual gifts. Each of us, I know, have also been endowed with other gifts. Rejoice in that. Life has not passed you by, it's only beginning. So this is Sister Timochko.
This night you carry all right. You can stop that.
Can you go ahead and read this around it?
I was gonna pass more out so you guys can take them home with you and give it to some other people. That's how you do that. No, yeah, like to take them with you guys.
So take like 3 or 4 and then I can just do the whole life, maybe hand them out to a few friends, or if there's like a table in the entry, just throw them on there for people to grab. But the front of it says, what if? You can do it if I info about all young adult gatherings instead of having young adult ones near you and young adult activities. Why say social media? People gatherings and family. So this is the purpose of SoCal YSA Auto Show, is that we're able to find the institutes near us, and like if you're visiting, let's say San Diego for a weekend and you want to maybe see if there's any YSA activities, or maybe you can find all the information.
Yeah. This one is our homepage. It says all of these are all the institutes in like the Los Angeles County for like all of our areas. And this is cool because you know this one here. And this is all started up locally, so it's not like the church doesn't have this for everyone. It's just for us in San Diego. We have this map of like all the life awards are in yellow. The institutes are for the people in orange. And the campus. An overview of what it looks like. But say I wanted to go, so I'm from the Los Angeles Arcadia area. Let's say I was down in San Diego. I wanted to go to an activity over there. I'm gonna come up here where it says San Diego. Can you see? Yeah. So the San Diego area. And let's go to an activity. So there's activities, institutes, or worship where you guys can go to that activity. But let's just see activities that we're doing. So I don't know if some of you have heard of them, but I was doing some came down. So do you want to go to that one? Do you? Oh, sweet. Oh. Okay. Yeah. But it's outdated, right? It's not going to go, we're going to take time for it. But did you share some of the YSA areas? So we had a girl in the last group. She was from the La Jolla YSA. And so we went to their, I don't know if you guys can see me back, but it says Facebook and Instagram.
Anybody from San Diego will go to yours.
Yeah.
Short lines. I guess that's Facebook.
So it'll take you directly to their page, and in each area does this locally. So their YSA words, their institutes. And so as it says here, they meet Sundays at 1 p.m. and it's where they do their address, and it's private, which is a good thing and a bad thing. So like our ward is also private, so because we post addresses of our bishoprics' houses when we do big chief activities there and stuff. So that's just a recommendation, but I know a lot of people have it open as well to the public, and that's amazing as well. Sorry? That is very helpful. And there's another thing I want wanted to show some examples. So this is our Walnut Institute page. This is the institute that we both go to. And then just some like activities that we had. So recently we had like a holiday social where we did like karaoke, a fun bonfires, with some kids, some of the people that go to our institute. And Jack, do you want to share some things?
Yeah, so a great thing about the Friendsgiving thing and kind of the whole purpose of having SoCal YSA so available is that us in the Walnut Institute, we were able to see that the Glendora Institute, that they meet on Thursdays, and for Thanksgiving, it was on a Thursday, so they didn't have Institute. And so we told them to invite everyone to come to our Institute, and we'll have a great Friendsgiving there. And we actually did. And we had a lot more people show up. It was really great. We had tons of great food. And a lot of the people who went there kept on showing up afterwards. And so we got more people to keep on coming. And it's not like they dropped their institute, but they now go to both. And maybe they just didn't know that this other institute was actually not that far away. And they were able to come to ours. And so being able to coordinate with other institutes and YSA works is a great part of SoCal YSA, that we're able to not be on top of each other with our activities, but we can also invite other people to come to ours and talk to the leaders of each other's and coordinate maybe activities together to get more people to meet those other people.
Something cool that our board does, I got a flyer that we passed out for our church. It shows like the program, what happens on Sunday. But on the back it shows like a big calendar about what we do. And it looks like there's a lot of stuff, so I'll break it down for you. So on Sunday, church, and sometimes we'll say break the fast, or fasting testimony meeting. And then on Mondays, we do FHE every Monday as our ward activity. And then Tuesdays, we do Walnut Institute. Wednesdays, there's another institute close by. Thursday, there's another institute that's kind of close by. And so there's just like a whole bunch of stuff that our board also communicates, that there's other institutes and other activities going on as well. Yeah.
Good idea. Ours has a website similar to the YSA one, that does similar stuff, like, really good.
So this is just some of the things that we do, and I'm sure that you guys are also doing plenty of other things that has worked for you guys. And so maybe something that we're sharing might not work in your ward, but it'll work great in Victorville, maybe not so much in San Diego. But what are some ways that you guys have communicated with others so we can all share it around and maybe get ideas that will work probably better in certain areas, better than others? So how have you guys communicated with other YSA wards or institutes to bring more people into your own?
I think for me, having a social media presence is a really big thing. My ward in Atlanta really didn't have an active Instagram, so there'd be people messaging that account, and there's like 30 or 40 unread DMs. And they're just thinking like, man, there's so many people that missed out on coming to an awesome ward, because the ward was great, but they're just not active on social media. So it's cool that the church now has someone that has that designated calling to do that. And from what I've seen, like everyone that takes that calling very seriously, it brings in so many blessings for the ward. But yeah, it's just great to take some extra effort. You're already making the flyer, just post it on Instagram. No one said you have to sit on there all day long and go like people's pictures and stuff. But it really is a big thing to engage with people and to keep the things happening on there.
Exactly, and we've actually seen some of that. We tried with our Walnut Institute, we try to post frequently whenever there's an activity, but obviously we're not making those weekly updates. We're not doing daily stories or anything, but just enough so that way people know what's happening in the moment and that you don't need to overly bombard people's feeds. But thank you, that was great.
Our institute teacher is so funny. During our class, we'll be like, okay, everybody, get out your phones right now and go to Instagram and then follow the Walnut YSA or the Walnut Institute page. And so we'll get like 50 more followers and like, guys, I'm big. So like my post right now so you guys can see what's going on. So that's just a good way that our institute teacher kind of promotes our Instagram.
So social media is a great way to communicate with others. Anything else that you guys have done?
We've used Facebook Messenger pretty frequently, like sending that way. But it's weird because, well, Instagram is more user friendly, I guess, for most of the members of the ward. But there's a presence on both platforms, so we need to kind of use both. But Messenger on Instagram then.
You have to hear from me again, sorry. I'd say personal invites are awesome. My friends James and Veronica help kind of re-emphasize that a lot. And it's definitely a game changer instead of just sending a mass group text. Those are awesome, but then personalized, hey man, hope your week's been well. And instead of like copy pasting, I'm trying to be very specific to who I'm talking to, and maybe using more cool words with certain people or whatever. That way they can kind of resonate with it. There's certain things I'd say to certain people like, oh, I wouldn't say that to her, or I wouldn't say that to her. I think you really have to individualize your invites too, and go above and beyond. And it doesn't matter if they don't come that first time. You gotta stick with it.
Now, what are some possibly challenges that you guys are seeing that maybe somebody else here would have an answer for? Maybe challenges on bringing people to YSA or Institute. Could be possibly rides. We have that every now and then. Somebody who needs a ride, but we also have a group chat with the missionaries to see who can bring a ride. Maybe if they have a friend that wants to come to Institute or the YSA board, like who can bring a ride. Any other challenges that you guys are seeing? Or does everyone have perfect attendance in all?
It's mainly attendance at all. I feel like a lot of times there's just not a lot of attendance coming, at least in our location. We try and do the personalized messaging and reaching out, and people just are not seeing it as a priority. I feel like we need to work on prioritizing. So maybe how did people make that a priority for everyone in their ward?
Yeah, that is a great thing to be talked about in board council as well,
Mhm.
and the YSA board to how we can communicate to the less active or people who just aren't showing up.
I do want to say something real quick. I don't say like the devil's advocate, but people do have their agencies, so like they do have their priorities set differently. Definitely if they're like working or maybe, they can take care of their families, because like as our, like as I'm showing on my calendar, like I found like I was raised in the church, and my parents have like taught me to go to every single activity, so like I drop everything, I'm like, I'm going, like I don't care if there's like in the middle, like I'm going. Like today my mom had there's a funeral in our family, and so I actually had to miss that to come today. But it's just setting your priorities straight, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think for attendance specifically, it's teaching the doctrine of Jesus Christ that really gets them there. When we talk about it's attendance comes from an understanding of the value of what comes from it, right? Does that make sense? Like it was like what Sister right? Thank you. Right. Sister Dennis was talking about people will not attend the temple until they understand the benefits and the blessings that come from the temple. President Nelson has just done a really good job of giving us something that we can share that gives us the doctrine about the Institutes. The doctrine of the Institute is that if you study the gospel, you will want to be there. And so as we try and, when we do invitations, I think the motive behind that invitation shows through very quickly. It's a, hi, I'm doing this because I'm the Elders Quorum president, and you don't believe me that I actually care about you. Sometimes that happens a lot. It means so much more when it's, hey, is everything all right? Is everything cool? Oh no? Well, let's go to the Institute together. Because I know if you come, it'll be something way better than what you normally do on a Tuesday night by yourself. It will bring you more joy than sitting and playing a video game, or it will bring you more joy than staying at home and cleaning the dishes. I know it does that for me, but it's the doctrine behind it that I think is what's really going to change the view of what these things are. Because for me, and I'm not sure if anyone else is, I'm sorry I'm talking to them, but for me, a lot of times what ends up happening is the to-do list is so long I can't get to it. Like, I look at a calendar that's totally full, and I'm like, man, I am not touching everything. I just don't have the time. So, when someone goes, hey, I want you to be at this thing, to go back to some of the priority comments, that moves that up in my mind. Because someone wants me there, someone's expecting me there, someone's looking for me. And that feels like I'm actually belong, and so there's some unity in that bit. So it helps really kind of prioritize that. Yeah.
well, I think sometimes kind of going off of your thing though, emphasizing that like doing things activities and doing stuff within social is part of doing ministry. Because I think we often think about ministering as like, I have to go to your house, or I have to text you, or I can call you. But honestly, you being like, hey, let's go to, like, oh my gosh, we are having this fun family home evening, ice skating, let's go together. Oh, we're doing this. And that makes a bigger difference of what you're saying, because it's not just an elders quorum present or a relief society present, or something like that, or you're just sending something. But it is being like, those ones will do it. It's also, they're the better ones at keeping accountable, being like, hey, I didn't see you in this week. What's going on? And just sometimes putting out, like, I think we focus a lot on attendance, but sometimes it's, we gotta look at what the activity we're doing is. Because I think if you're not building the groups and you're not building the friendships, when you have the friendships in the wars, there isn't anything that's gonna stop you from going and being like, I wanna be at that activity. But if you don't feel like you have the friends in the ward, it doesn't matter how much you advertise, I'm not necessarily gonna wanna go. Having those people, making people feel at home, building that connection is what really has to happen.
Jumping off of that, also inviting people when you go and do something. Sometimes my friends and I, there's a couple places we can go explore tonight, the other mountain range, like this whole little trail that's right on. There's an abandoned RV about 30 minutes into the mountains. And so I was just like, hey, we're going to go in and out, we're gonna go eat for like 30, 40 minutes or however long, and we're gonna go out and do this for a couple hours, you wanna join? Some people can't make it, but we found sometimes more people will come. When you already have to be one.
I think the main goal here is we're trying to find a balance between, trying to help people with their social conversion and their spiritual conversion. We want activities that will, help with both, and sometimes that's not possible. And so, you need both of those in order to have people coming to church and wanting to become activities and wanting to be a part of the ward. We need to find the right balance, and there will be some activities that will be more toward the social conversion than the spiritual, but when we have people coming to those socially based activities, we're able to get more to the institute, where they're able to build their spiritual conversion, but they still have someone to sit next to because they can find them. And just to go along with that, there's a scripture, in Luke chapter 2, verse 52, and it's the only scripture that shares what Jesus Christ was doing during our age, during our young adult age. And it says, and Jesus increased in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and men. So going off of what you're kind of saying about being social and spiritual, the scripture also talks about being intellectual and like physical. So I think that it'd be a good idea for like your wards to do activities based off of those four things, based off of social things, spiritual things, intellectual things where you're learning, and physical things like a sports night. This is great. So they're like, they're for well-rounded people. They're for you to become well-rounded people, like our Savior was during this time of age, during this stage of life, as we are right now.
Last example.
Another thing, like, one of the principles in the other class, if the people you're working with have no part in the process, they have a mistake in the outcome. So, maybe plan activities that people who aren't coming would want to come to, or ask them to help plan an activity, like get them involved, and they'll want to come and want to be involved.
So, one quick thing that I've also seen, one time we did combined volleyball activity between two wards, between our ward and the Ontario ward. And we had actually a great turnout because it also brought out the people who only really come for sports activities in our ward as well as their ward. And a lot of them actually made friends, and I've seen a few more people come out from it. And so I think that combining YSA activities every now and then is a huge benefit. And I really hope we do another one again, because I got beef with somebody because he blocked me. So it's just such a good thing to have great activities, to coordinate with them, with other institutes, to have activities with them, and maybe not even just an activity like something special, but just inviting them out to the ward, inviting them out to the every week institute. And being able to share that with everyone, trying to bring out as many people as we can is such a huge blessing that we're able to do this. That we have SoCal YSA to help us coordinate better, so that way we're not planning activities on top of each other, but we can invite everyone from each institute that we go to our own activity and see more results from that.
Yeah, so just, kind of talking about how to reach out to them. By doing this, we start with Christ-like communication. And so Christ-like communications are expressed in tones of love rather than loudness. They're intended to be helpful rather than hurtful. They tend to bind us together rather than to drive us apart. They tend to build rather than to derail. I think just something that goes off of this is don't just invite to get more numbers, to get more quantity. It's about the quality that's more important. So just be mindful of that.
And Christ-like communications will help us to develop righteous relationships, ultimately to return to our heavenly home safely. We will treasure the divine gift of communication, and may we use it wisely to build and assist others on this marvelous journey to immortality. So we want to finish this with our testimonies that we know that inviting people with Christ-like love and trying to coordinate to have the best activity possible, to have the best institute possible, is really going to bring out as many people as they are willing to come. And being able to invite, many comments have been on being able to invite with Christ-like love, and personally, that we'll be able to touch the hearts and being able to get them out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just by everything that Brad said, as well as that testimony of having that Christ-like communication for yourself. I know because I'm going to teach at FHU this coming Monday. You all are invited, by the way. I'm teaching the line dancing, so it's going to be pretty fun. But I've been doing some of my own Christ-like communications within my Lord. Like, hey, you should come. Like, I know you like country music. Like, there's some people at work that I know that love to dance. Like, and they're not members. Just a simple invitation of like, hey, like, I'm supporting you, or you're supporting other people as well. But I know that when we do that, we're kind of like I said, we're reaching that hand out to one another, we're supporting each other, we're loving each other. The YSA work and our institutes, I hope that you all can do that too. And I just wanted to end with an invitation.
And we know that you all have pens, because they handed them out. So please write this invitation down, don't forget to do it. That will you look for nearby institutes or YSA near you and follow their Instagram and Facebook page today, if they have. Yes, no, yes.
Will you guys do that? You all agree, so we want to get more followers to that page. Yeah, but yeah, let's see if you want to send some subscribers. If you guys have any questions or ideas, please feel free to let us
We have like 10 minutes for your next class.
That's easy, dude. We're gonna have our freaking, our institute buildings are gonna be Boston. James.